This is an early warning weather alert issued by the West Coast Regional Council along with Civil Defence at 10:52 am New Zealand Standard Time on the 16th of June 2023 and transmitted by TVNZ. All programming systems and radio stations within the West Coast region have been shut down as of this time in order for this broadcast to air. Please stand by for further information. Findings by the National Institute of Water and Air along with Civil Defence have predicted that a mass downpour will occur along the West Coast, with rain accumulating to as high as 250 mm to at least 300 mm over the following 48 hours. As a result, immediate action will be taken in order to ensure the safety of residents within the affected areas. Areas that will be most affected by this weather event include the following: Kakapotahi, Ross, Ruatapu, Hokitika, Awatuna, Kumara, Dillamstown, Hohunu, Marsden, Greymouth, Kaitaia, Coal Creek, Dobson, Taylorville, Runanga, Rappahoy, 9 Mile, and Barrytown. If your area of residence has been listed, please ensure that you are prepared to evacuate if you can. Flood warnings have been issued alongside the Grey River, the Taramakau River, the Arahura River, the Hokitika River, and the Totara River. The water capacity of these rivers have reached critical and dangerously high levels and are expected to begin to overflow over the period of the week, submerging low-lying communities and areas alongside these rivers. Road closures will also occur around the area, with State Highway 6 being temporarily closed due to flood alerts and road hazards. Do not attempt to drive through flooded roads, even if it doesn't look deep enough. If you do need to urgently evacuate, evacuation routes will be displayed, and you will be able to use State Highway 7 and State Highway 73 to evacuate your area. Power outages are also expected to be widespread across the region. Make sure that you are able to have a handheld flashlight on you at all times after dark, along with having a backup generator nearby. Prepare for extended periods of time without electricity. In the event that you find yourself caught within floodwaters, ensure that you move to higher ground immediately and exit any indoor areas or structures that you may be within. Do not attempt to swim or drive through floodwaters. Cellular networks may also be unavailable throughout the following week due to power outages and high traffic of calls to local emergency centers. Ensure that you also have a handheld battery-powered radio available in the event that you need to contact emergency services or follow updates. Health warnings have also been issued for floodwaters as they may be contaminated with bacteria. If you plan on using any water from the floodwaters for consumption or treatment, make sure to boil it first before using it. Remain informed from your local emergency authorities along with being updated on evacuation routes and where to go. Only contact 111 if there is an emergency. Civil Defence will continue to update this developing weather event on its website, which you can access. This has been an emergency weather broadcast for the region of the West Coast issued by Civil Defence and the West Coast Regional Council. Thank you for your attention.
In developing information, a weather alert has been issued for the West Coast today, following local predictions by NIWA and Civil Defence of high accumulation of rainfall along with flooding. So far, reports have come in that 3 people have died in Pukekura as a result of the flooding, leading to increased safety protocols being issued for the region. Footage shows overflowing rivers alongside Greymouth and Hokitika, with a bridge even being destroyed. Several highways around the area have been shut down, including State Highway 6, diverting traffic to go through State Highway 7 to get to Greymouth. It is predicted that the rainfall within the area may increase to 430 mm of rainfall by next week, prompting evacuation plans to be drawn up by local authorities and councils in the event of a mass evacuation.
Right, let's review the data we've gathered on the West Coast situation. We are seeing significant ground deformation in multiple areas, right?
Yes. Our sensors are showing alarming movement in the Kaitaia, Kanye, Hohunu, and Rewanui areas. The rainfall accumulation is exponential and poses a significant hazard to the areas. It's unprecedented. We are looking at over 300 millimeters of rain in the past 48 hours, with more forecasted. The ground is completely saturated.
What else? The LiDAR data is showing clear signs of slope instability. Look at these areas here and here. The risk of a major landslide is significant. What's our assessment of the potential impact? Given the proximity to Hokitika and Greymouth, we are looking at a potentially catastrophic scenario. These are densely populated areas for the region. Understood. I'll contact NEMA and Civil Defence right away. We need to push for immediate evacuation notices. We'd be seeing death tolls reach the hundreds or even thousands. Absolutely. Stress the urgency. If these slopes give way, we are looking at multiple landslides that could wipe out entire communities. Got it. I'll emphasize the need for immediate action. Lives are at stake here. All right, let's prepare a detailed brief. We need to provide clear, actionable intelligence to support the emergency response.
Warning. This is an emergency broadcast issued at the request of Civil Defence and the West Coast Regional Council and aired by TVNZ at 11:32 a.m. New Zealand Standard Time on the 19th of June 2023. All broadcasting stations and networks along the region of the West Coast have been interrupted in order to air this broadcast. May we have your full and immediate attention, please? Regarding the recent weather events which have been affecting the West Coast, local emergency managements and organizations have come to concerning findings recently which may indicate of a potentially catastrophic event occurring within the area. Findings include the weakening and erosion of earth on large mountains and hills nearby which may potentially trigger landslides that can destroy surrounding areas. The following areas which have been marked as hazardous by the National Geohazards Monitoring Center and Niue include Kaita, Kania, Hana, and Rewanui. Populated urban areas located in close proximity to these hazard sites include Hokitika, Greymouth, Dobson, Coal Creek, Taylorville, Rimu, and Kokatai. As a result of these close proximity areas along with the potential for cataclysmic landslides occurring, an immediate evacuation advisory has been issued for all areas of the region of the West Coast from Yatapu leading up north towards Barrytown. All areas within this perimeter have been given an evacuation advisory. It is predicted that the rainfall may peak around 400 millimeters within the next few days following this broadcast, which could trigger a possible landslide. While this is not a mandatory evacuation order, it is still an advisory. It is strongly recommended that residents who live in low-lying areas are to relocate temporarily for the time being until evacuation guidelines are lifted. The Grey District and the Westland District Councils are working closely with Civil Defence and other local authorities in order to prepare a plan for emergency responses along with a potential mass evacuation of some areas. Emergency shelters may also be established within populated areas within public facilities within Greymouth and Hokitika, including Greymouth High School and Westland High School. These will be operational within the following few hours. Road conditions are also expected to be moderate within the following few days. State Highway 6 remains closed, but it is being debated by local authorities and emergency organizations about whether to open it temporarily or not. Check the New Zealand Transport Agency website for more information and updates regarding the status of State Highway 6. Remember to stay informed on local radio channels and on the Civil Defence website. It is advisable to maintain travel to a minimum throughout the day and only travel for essential needs such as supplies, flooding may still pose a risk within some areas. This has been a broadcast from the West Coast Regional Council and Civil Defence and aired by TVNZ. Please stay updated and only contact emergency services if absolutely necessary. Thank you for your diligent attention.
This is One News at midday. Good afternoon. An evacuation advisory has been issued within the West Coast today, following freak weather events which have raised alarms from organisations about the risk of catastrophic landslides. A statement has been issued today by the National Geohazards Monitoring Centre regarding the situation, which states, "We have raised concerns regarding recent findings along the west coast of ground erosion, within high points near populated urban areas. It has been agreed by both the NGMC and Civil Defence that an immediate evacuation advisory is to be issued." While the evacuation advisory has been issued, traffic data and monitoring centres show little signs of evacuation procedures being carried out, with most residents within Greymouth and Hokitika choosing to remain indoors and stock up on essential supplies. Most residents believe that the areas which pose a risk for landslides aren't close enough to pose a risk for their areas of residence.
Including passports and ID cards, waterproof clothing including
Attention. This is an urgent emergency broadcast issued by the Grey District Council and Civil Defence at 4:30 a.m. New Zealand Standard Time on the 21st of June 2023. This is a developing information, and your life is a serious risk. At approximately 4:29 a.m. New Zealand Standard Time, the entire southwestern face of Anti-Sewell Peak along with several high points and mountains in Coal Creek are collapsing into the Grey River. In order to ensure and secure your own safety, follow the information which will be provided within this broadcast. If you can, escape immediately. It is advised to use any form of transport necessary, from using a vehicle to using a bike. You will not be able to outrun this on foot. If you are unable to escape, remain indoors and take shelter within the lowest and sturdiest room of the structure. Remain away from all windows and lie flat on the ground. Do not exit the structure until you are sure that the landslide has stopped. Areas which are currently being affected include Taylorville, Dobson, and Munanga, which are actively being destroyed as of this time. Reports are coming that buildings and infrastructure are being completely destroyed by these landslides and virtually wiped off the map. The central Greymouth area is at immediate risk of being affected by these landslides as debris flows may reach the area. If you live within any area on the eastern end of Greymouth, your life is in immediate danger. The National Hazards Monitoring Centre have also reported that several other landslides are occurring simultaneously around the area, with others occurring in Evacuation as well. The geological instability caused by recent heavy rainfall has led to this catastrophic failure of the landscape. If you are currently residing anywhere within a 5 km radius of the Grey River, you must evacuate immediately. As a result of the mass amount of dirt and debris from the landslide falling upon the Grey River, to some of the waves the mass flooding will occur, swamping entire suburbs and communities. Do not wait for evacuation orders from officials. Go immediately. Major transport routes including State Highway 6 and State Highway 7 will be inaccessible for the time being due to the extent of the landslides most likely destroying these highways. The Midland Rail line will also be compromised, cutting off rail networks from Greymouth. These disruptions to transport networks will delay emergency services. Once you're able to, go to the highest point of your structure and signal for help. Remain there until
This is a critical emergency broadcast issued at 4:32 a.m. on June 21, 2023 by Civil Defence and local authorities in Evacuation. The alert is being broadcasted on all available channels, including radio, television, and mobile alerts, reaching residents in Kenya, Ehan, and surrounding areas. This urgent message requires your immediate attention due to significant threats in the region. Significant landslides are occurring within the Evacuation area along with the rest of the west coast. Other landslides are occurring within Greymouth. As at this time, mountainous areas within the Ehan and Keene regions are giving way and are collapsing into valleys and the Evacuation River. For your immediate and utmost safety, please ensure the following instructions and pay attention to the following information. More than 1 million cubic meters of soil and dirt are being displaced and actively moving towards populated urban areas including East Evacuation. Areas that are in immediate risk include Kenya, Kokitahi, and Ross. These areas will be destroyed by the landslides. Major roadways along with bridges are being affected. The landslides will cut off the easternmost regions of Evacuation, delaying help and emergency services. Landslides have also compromised the water quality of the area including Lake Canberra, making it unsafe to drink or consume water from the area. Efforts are underway to secure alternative water sources for affected communities. Residents are advised to use bottled water or boil tap water until further notice. Flooding will also occur as a result of these landslides. All residents alongside the Evacuation River or within a 5 km radius of it are prompted to evacuate immediately. Local emergency services are deploying, but access to affected zones is extremely limited due to road blockages and hazardous conditions. Rescue teams are prioritizing life-saving operations where they can reach safely. Coordination with national agencies is ongoing to bring additional resources into the region. Residents should follow instructions from emergency personnel closely. Follow the instructions provided by local authorities and stay tuned for updates as this situation develops. This has been a broadcast from your local emergency authorities. Thank you for your attention.